There's some days, some people where you just, let go of the rivalry, that being the Red River rivalry, Texas, Oklahoma. There are salt of earth people on both sides, and I know both sides very well. Well, there's a guy who is a friend of mine. He's actually the voice of the Oklahoma Sooners. A great story, great human being, but he's also dealt with the adversity recently of life, just with health, unexpected. And he also has a pretty incredible book that, regardless of age, I know it has a specific target demographic, so to speak. It's OU, has an OU theme to it. And you may want to, Christmas is near. It's a great Christmas idea. Toby Rowland, the voice of the Sooners. Let's talk about it.
Now comes far right in the trip set, 27 seconds. Anderson in motion, 23 seconds. Gabriel has the football, looks to throw. He's under pressure, he lobs end zone, touchdown! Nick Anderson, touchdown! Oh, mama! Dylan Gabriel, a legacy-making drive! A 3-yard touchdown pass to Nick Anderson! And with 15 seconds to go, the Sooners are on top in the Cotton Bowl!
Toby, that is this past year. That was not a great memory for people in this neck of the woods.
You just lost every listener you got, man. They all just turned it off. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Man, apologies from the Toby Rowland, the voice of the Oklahoma Sooners. Made that call. That was a great game, great ending. Another chapter of the historic Texas OU, or OU Texas, as they say, north of the Red River. Man, welcome. This is you're a veteran now in the man cave.
Great to see you, my friend. Always great to see my buddy Shawn. We go way back, and we've been through a lot together. And I'm always there. Anytime you call, I don't care what color you're representing or anything. I'm there for you, buddy.
Hey, likewise, man. For you, your family member, I'm here for you. And the one thing that I can't stand about myself right now is that I have not been up there to OKC, Norman, Moore, Edmond in about 3 years, and it's long overdue. Miss that place. It left quite an impression. You're one of the people who left quite an impression on me. The Toby Rowland, we're gonna. I know these Let's Talk About It episodes are short, but we're gonna try to get in 3 topics that are tied to him. And before we do that, got to give some love to Honest Plumbing and Air. They changed their name over the past 12 months, but it is the same great service where a handshake still means something. And that is something that you find quite often in Oklahoma. A handshake does mean something in the great state of Oklahoma. So Toby and I, we worked at competing stations in the Oklahoma City TV market. I was at the Fox. He was at CBS, and he and Dean Blevins and that group did a wonderful job. Toby is the ideal talented storyteller, meaning he searches for the true story. And I always appreciated his work. That's why we connected. The pride of Southern Nazarene. He played basketball, by the way. I always loved throwing it in there. The guy can hoop. I still have memories of that awful media game we had at OU one time. But Toby lit it up. Toby lit it up that day. For about a decade, is it 11 years? You are now the voice of the Sooners, or have been?
Yeah, we're about to embark on year 14.
14 already?
Yeah, we're about to start year 14 in this chair. 2 years before that, I was on the sidelines. So entering my 16th year with OU as a part of the broadcast team, but 14th year in the role of play-by-play. And it's just, yeah, it's a dream come true.
It is, and you do a great job.
Thank
really
you.
do. I've been very lucky, blessed, if you will, to be around guys like you, Craig Way.
Yeah, Craig. I love Craig.
Craig's awesome. God, always has a good story locked
Yeah.
and loaded. But these are some
Craig
photos.
just needs more jobs. That's the only problem. Craig doesn't have enough jobs. That man calls more games than anybody in America.
It's amazing. I would love to see first of all, his Southwest Airlines points and his Bonvoy card.
Yeah.
What do you think? 1,000,000 points, possibly?
Easy.
Yeah.
He's probably got shares in the companies by now.
Oh, without a
Yeah.
doubt. He goes to shareholder meetings.
Yeah.
Uh, these are some sites of Toby calling games. At Gaylord Memorial, and is there one particular SEC venue that you are looking forward to calling games from more than maybe others?
That picture at the top, by the way, is my newest coworker, Bob Stoops, in the booth with us.
Oh, there he is.
He's wearing the Drake Stoops jersey last year. He's been joining us for a quarter on our radio broadcasts. He did it last year. He's going to do it again this year. And Bob is tremendous because he doesn't really know and really doesn't care about the appropriate etiquette of calling a game. And so I'll be in the middle of calling a play and he'll see somebody open and he'll just start yelling, "He's open! He's open! Throw it! Got him!" You're not supposed to do that, but it's Bob Stoops and it's just awesome when he's talking over the top. But no, we love it. Venues, I've been to a few. So I will cross out some of them that I've already been to, such as Tennessee. Tennessee is amazing and I'm very much looking forward to going back. I think if I had to pick one in each sport, in football, it's probably one we're going to this year, LSU.
Yes.
I have been to Baton Rouge for baseball and basketball, but never for a football game. And hopefully we get a night game in Death Valley and you get to experience, what that incredible atmosphere, maybe the greatest atmosphere in all of college football, a night game in Baton Rouge is all about. So there's a lot. Football, we're going to Auburn this year. I can't wait to see War Eagle. We're going to Oxford this year. I can't wait to see what the Grove's all about. There's a lot, but I think I'd rank LSU number one on what I'm most looking forward to. Basketball, I think you got to say Rupp Arena, right? With the history of that building, we have become accustomed in the Big 12 to visiting Fog Allen Fieldhouse. And I think Rupp Arena is a different facility than that. It's a lot more modern, but still draped in history. And I can't wait to experience that venue. And I love college baseball. Anybody that knows me knows I love college baseball. And I cannot wait for baseball in the SEC. And I think, top of the list there are the two Mississippi schools. I mean, the stadiums that Mississippi State and Ole Miss have built in baseball, especially Mississippi State, Duty Noble, I mean, they'll get 10,000 plus in that place sometimes, is unbelievable. So, I mean, there's a lot. It's a long list of places I can't wait to go in this league, but I'd probably pick those for my, top in each sport.
Those are solid. I mine changed, and I'm with you. I'm a college baseball nut, and I've heard of at Mississippi State the Bulldog Weekend that they have, where I think they'll push over 14 grand into that baseball stadium, but you know what? I think it helps. I mean, there's plans to improve Dishfalk in some ways, and you guys are going through that at Eldell Mitchell with Skip Johnson. And I think he's done a good job along with the campaign to go into the SEC that, I like Eldell, but it's just not very big. But do you see that because of this infusion of energy with the SEC, more interest in baseball there?
I think the combination of the run to the National Championship Series 2 years ago, that's 3 years ago now, which really, lit a fuse under this fan base. So the combination of that and how good they've been under Skip Johnson the last few years and going to the SEC has certainly done that. There is a building project underway. They're in the fundraising phase, but they're about ready to dig ground to improve Eldell Mitchell Park. It's a nice park,
but
it's not. I would say of the 16 SEC schools, it might rank 15th. I think it's probably better than Missouri, and that's probably it. And so I think people realize that, and it needs to be modernized, not just because you want to keep up with the Joneses, but because if you're going to attract the kind of baseball players that you need to go beat the LSUs and Texas and Arkansas of the world, you got to recruit to that. If the kid goes to Arkansas and sees, Baum, and then comes to Norman and sees Eldell, you're gonna have a hard time getting that kid. So I think there's a realization there as well. So they're really, I think they're trying to do to Eldell, I know they are, what they did to Owen Field over the last 25 years or so, which is it's not going to be the biggest stadium,
right,
but it's going to be nice. And that's Owen Field is very, very nice. It seats 85,000. There's going to be 87,000 if standing room. It's not going to, have the 100,000 plus that some of the stadiums have in this league, but it is a really, really nice venue. And I think that's what they want to do to Eldell is we're not going to be the biggest, but we hope we can be right there with the nicest in this league. And so it's good to see, as somebody that loves baseball, and for a long time, Oklahoma's been lagging behind with that particular venue. It's good to see some love going its way.
Well, and softball has really staked claim to the it's OU and everybody else, and they have. I cannot wait to see that new facility that you guys have.
It's something else.
Softball.
Yeah, it's something else.
It's unreal. They deserve it. Patty should have her name on everything before it's all said and done. I'm just going to be honest with you, Toby. I always follow you, and we have friends we follow on both sides, and I think when life moves so fast, we forget that we need to check in sometimes. But when I saw your post regarding this, I was like, I have to reach out to him. And that's kind of a motivation for this podcast episode, because it's scary, because health issues happen. You can't predict them, but it's mainly, God, is he all right? Obviously you're recovering. You had a kidney removed, and that's something you put too often in a sentence. But if you don't mind, I mean, what happened? What have you learned from it? And what would you tell people about even remotely trying to be proactive?
Well, I would say don't mow the lawn, because we've had a terrible summer. We were, when baseball season ends, it's vacation time for us until football season starts. And baseball season had just ended, and it was the day before we were going on family vacation. And I was mowing the lawn just so that it didn't look terrible when we got back home. And I felt like I got shot in the stomach. I crumpled to the ground with some abdominal pain that I haven't felt before. And my wife ended up taking me to the urgent care. Urgent care thought it was my gallbladder, and which made sense. I didn't think it was my appendix. It didn't seem to be, it seemed to be higher than that. So they said I needed to go to the emergency room. Went to the ER, and they said it's not your gallbladder, it's your kidney. I had a mass in my kidney that a blood vessel had ruptured, and it was bleeding into this mass in my kidney, and that's what was causing the pain. I had no idea. Never had any problems with my kidney my whole life. I'd never had any pain at all. Just out of the blue, suddenly one day, you've got a giant mass in your kidney. So they did an emergency surgery to stop the bleeding. And then we had to give it about a month to let everything calm down in there so they could go back in and do some imaging to see what exactly are we dealing with. And they decided at that point that the whole kidney had to come out. So that's what happened. It's been not quite 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I had my right kidney removed. I got 6 holes in my abdomen right now, but I think I'm back up and healthy. I just went to the doctor today, and I'm cleared to do almost everything. I can't golf again for a while, but I'm driving again and working again and walking again, and so I'm feeling good. There was no cancer. They did a biopsy,
thank God.
It was no cancer in the mass. It's just a freak deal. It was nothing I asked the doctor, what led to this? What did I do that caused this that I can make sure I don't do anymore? And he said, nothing. It's not like you should eat healthy and take care of your left kidney now because it's the last one you got. But you didn't do anything to cause this. This is just freak genetics. And you got the short straw. And so obviously we didn't get to take our family vacation this summer. I've been in the hospital way more than I've been on a beach. And now it's football season. So the whole family's mad at me.
Of course.
I'm mad. It was just the worst summer ever, but I'm on the other side of kidney surgery, and I'm a part of the One Kidney Club now for the rest of my life.
You know what? Resilient, one kidney, it can filter a lot. And obviously this photo is of you and your much better half. That's the day
That's right.
You were released, right, from the hospital?
Yeah, we were leaving the hospital, and the people at Norman Regional Healthplex were just incredible to us. And unfortunately, when you live in the public eye, fortunately and unfortunately, you got a lot of people praying for you, and that's great.
That's key.
But it felt like you kind of had to keep everybody updated to some extent and try to maintain your privacy as much as you can. So once we got on the other side of that, we decided to snap a picture and let everybody know I was alive. I made it, and I'm going home. And you can probably see the relief on both of our faces right there that we made it through.
Oh, she's dropping the deuces. She's ready to get out of the hospital.
And she's got her Starbucks. Never too far from a Starbucks either, yeah.
Possibly a double shot of espresso. You got to have that when you're recovering from the loss of a kidney. But, man, many prayers answered, brother. And I'm really glad to see you here talking about it. Hey, color looks good. It looks like you've been to the beach.
Yeah, it's 150 degrees here. I don't know what's the weather there, man.
Not much better.
I can't go get my mail without getting a sunburn right now. So,
well, just think if I was your neighbor, if I was not wearing any type of lid, you would receive free LASIK surgery from this dome in this kind of sunlight. I'm just being honest with you. This doesn't surprise me that you're now an author because you go back and Google search Toby Rowland feature stories, News 9, great stories, great writer. This was so obviously being the voice of the Sooners. This was fitting because these are some phrases that Toby himself has coined and uses on the play-by-play broadcast. Put the ponies in the barn. There are some others. Unhitch the wagon. I mean, the genesis of all this. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is a children's book, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But two different children's books there. Yeah. Unhitch the Wagon came out 4 years ago, and it's got a lot of Big 12 theme to it. The ponies are trying to become these ponies are trying to become the famous ponies that pull the Sooner Schooner, and so they train by kind of whipping up on their fellow Big 12 mascots. The new book just came out this July, Put the Ponies in the Barn, and it's about the ponies going around and kind of wrangling up all the new SEC mascots, putting them in the wagon. You can see there in the back of the wagon and bringing it back to Norman to show them what Sooner Magic's all about. So it's a lot of fun. I do love to write. I never dreamed that I would write a kid's book, but I've always loved to write creatively, especially. We do these scene setters in Norman for football games and stuff, which gives me a little bit of an outlet. But my good friend Tony Caridi, I don't know if you know Tony or not. Mm-hmm. He's the voice of the West Virginia Mountaineers. We were at a dinner in Morgantown several years ago, and he was telling me about a children's book that he had just written.
Wow.
And it was fascinating to me, and I asked him all about the process and kind of had that in the back of my brain and got hit by some inspiration on one of those late night flights back with a basketball team. You come home after the game and it's 2:00 in the morning. I can't sleep on an airplane. So I started trying to write a little bit of a poem. And before I knew it, I had about 12 or 14 stanzas and was able to get OU on board. I mean, that was the big part. Athletic director Joe Castiglione said, "Hey, this is a great idea." Licensing had to allow me to use the marks and all that kind of stuff. And we found a publisher who liked it, and we were off and running. It's blown me away. I thought we may sell a few books because I don't know if there's a lot of OU children's books out there, but the reaction's been incredible. We've sold a lot of books, which is fun. But like tomorrow, I'm going to Minko Elementary School
Uh-huh.
and reading to a couple hundred kids, and that happens all the time, whether it's libraries or elementary schools or church groups or book signings. The interaction that I get to have with young, sometimes Sooner fans, sometimes not, just kids, or in many cases Sooner fans who come to book signings or these readings that I would otherwise never have met. People write to me or send me pictures of them reading the books to their kids the night before a game. It's their tradition, but the night before an OU game, we got to read your books. And so, I mean, I didn't know about that. I didn't think that stuff would happen. And so it's been such a cool thing. And so I'm very excited about the new book. Thank you for putting it up. Put the ponies in the barn. We're all excited about the SEC. And so this is an opportunity for the littles to get excited with the rest of us.
Absolutely. And honestly, with Christmas coming up, I'm assuming that Amazon would be the most efficient, easiest way.
Sure, yeah. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, lots of retailers around the state of Oklahoma. But if you live outside the state of Oklahoma, Amazon and Barnes and Noble are your best bets.
Get it done. Put them in your bin.
Hey, the Longhorn makes an appearance in both books, by the way.
So what's the fate of the Longhorn in these books?
I wouldn't say there's any fate at all, other than we got him in the wagon. Like we brought the Longhorn back to Norman with the gator and the elephant and all the tigers and the razorback and everything. There's a lot of animals to wrangle in the SEC, and we were able to coerce the Longhorn to jump in and come back with us. So he's perfect. Nobody's hurting the Longhorn. You kidding me? So we brought him back to. We were able to get him in the book, both books actually. So
that's impressive, and there's no branding or anything on the Longhorn, so that unlike what A&M did to in the 20s.
We were very nice to Bevo. Yeah. I didn't want to get sued by the University of Texas, so I was very nice to Bevo.
Bevo's a good passenger, from what I hear. I mean,
we might need him to pull once in a while. There's a lot of weight in that wagon, so we may just throw him up front.
The Sooner Schooner wagon, it just puts Noah's Ark to shame with all the different animals and amphibious animals with the gator in Florida. That's impressive, Toby, man. I hope you continue the series. I really do.
Well, thank you.
Is there one on the horizon?
I hope so. I don't have anything in the works right now. This one just came out. I think that if it has success and the publisher continues to want some, I think it'd be really cool to have 8-10 book series, and kids grow up and talk about how they had all the Boomer and Sooner books when they were kids, and people try to collect the whole series and everything. That'd be great. But I got to have enough ideas to fill those books, and you got to have a publisher. Yeah, a publisher that wants to print them. So we'll see if we can keep this wagon rolling.
Keep the wagon, don't unhitch it. Keep it rolling.
That's right.
Meanwhile, with all the negativity, we like to end these things with a little positivity.
Good.
Hey, Ben, tell me something good.
I think Toby
is very highly produced. I'm very impressed with this. Your TV background is coming through. This is not your average podcast. I go on a lot of podcasts. This is like a TV show. This is big time.
Our backgrounds serve us well in some aspects.
That's right.
I'm glad that I will fun story. Well, it's not fun. The story, and I won't name names, that helped me ease out of that industry. And I'm so grateful for everyone that gave me an opportunity. It was when I had this idea, and that when it came down to monetize it, I wasn't going to see any penny of it.
Yeah.
There we go.
It sounds like a good life choice.
It was this, but just like your book, our lives are full of chapters. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Toby, what would you like? Is there anything inspiring or positive that you would love to pass along to the people watching or listening?
I don't know exactly where this is supposed to go, but I'll just tell you what has a smile on my face every day when I wake up right now is that I just became a grandfather
Wow.
a little over a month ago to little baby Aurora May,
Beautiful.
and we've got a grandson on the way in a little over a month. So one of my sons just had a little girl, and the other son is about to have a little boy. I'm only 50 years old. I don't think I'm old enough to be a granddad,
No.
but I am, and I got to tell you, the little girl is the most perfect little thing I've ever seen. And so entering the world of grandparenting right now has even losing a kidney seems like not that big of a deal right now when I get to see her little face. So I don't know. Is that where this is supposed to go here?
No, it's that was perfect.
Okay.
I think this all started. I jumped on Twitter one day and I just noticed: is there anything positive that people say?
Yeah. No.
That is a space of angry people.
Yeah. I wish so badly I could get off Twitter. I wish I would give it up in a heartbeat if I could. But you're right. There's not a lot of good out there. So kudos to you for bringing a little sunshine to the world.
Hey, thank you, brother. That one thing I'm going to say is something good. In addition, I mean, first of all, congrats. You don't look a day over 40, 39.
Thank you.
To be a grandfather.
I got a little gray going now.
I've got the gray beard. Today is my work from home day. Or if anybody's watching, this is after hours. I wasn't doing this during the work day.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. Because you never know who's watching. Toby, it has taken me about 4 or 5 years to learn how to be a fan. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to become a season ticket holder. So this will be the first season I'll ever be a season ticket holder. It's at Texas. My seats are terrible, by the way. But it's the SEC. I'm excited. And I know with tailgating, there's, you create all these new friends, families of friends, so to speak. And so if you're out tailgating in Norman, Austin, man, get close to those people because some of those people you're going to be tied to and be friends with the rest of your life. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm fired up about it.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. I'm a little, I don't know if sad's the right word. Maybe it is. But I could be in this job, which is, I think, the greatest job in the world for 50 more years. And I will probably never see a game at DKR because OU and Texas play in the Cotton Bowl, which I don't want that to move. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it to move.
I don't either.
I just like experiencing college atmosphere. And same for Craig. Like Craig will never probably experience a game at Owen Field because of the way our rivalry is. So I always thought that's a weird thing. Like I've been to Texas for baseball and basketball and softball and everything else, but never for a football game. So I hope you have fun. I apologize for this. Honestly, episode 395 will go down in history as the lowest rated podcast ever. The one where you had the voice of the Sooners on. We're in the middle of Texas territory. This is a terrible idea you've had, but at least you and I got to talk, if nothing else.
We did. It was just an excuse, and for all those people watching, it's like, couldn't y'all have had a FaceTime call or a phone conversation? Instead of making an episode, but it was worth it. Man, you tell your family hello and tell one of the best ADs ever to do it, Joe C. I said hello.
I will. Good to talk to you, Shawn.
Good to talk to you, brother. So whenever you have an opportunity to talk to anybody on the other side of the Red River or a Sooner, man, it is always good to talk about it. That's all I got to say. Toby, much love, brother.
See you, boo.
See you.